Ain't playing with nobody. You step in that ring with him, be prepared.
Oh my God. All day. There you go. That's it.
Just relax. There you go. Just relax.
Wow. There's his experience, his toughness, his cardio. He has a lot of heart, and he knows that I'm coming to win. And they're saying that this is the hardest he's ever been training.
Back in terms of some of that discipline. But, if training camp happens, if he's locked in and he's looking to make a show and try and knock this guy out, I wouldn't be surprised either. Does he have the gas? Yeah. Even though he's dealing with a bigger guy, it's still, he's been 10, 12 rounds in real fights. Jake hasn't. Jake has shown that he's got tired out in fights.
Chaos erupted during the press conference for the upcoming Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul showdown, turning what was meant to be a routine promotional event into a heated confrontation. Davis lost his temper when questioned about his decision to fight Paul instead of higher-ranked opponents. Sensing an opening, Paul went on the offensive, mocking Davis's personal controversies and background, which only fueled the tension until moderators were forced to step in. "I'm going to outbox him," Davis declared as order was finally restored.
Now I just want to see what he brings to us. We just got off a plane. A lot of work yesterday from the interviews and stuff, so I want to see how he react. 2 sparring partners and rounds is unknown.
All right, y'all. Let's go.
No.
Bang!
When they watch us in here working, they saying we going bang, 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 bang.
There you go. Good. There you go.
When he get in that ring, he's on a mission. Because he understand that he got to put his pants on, training wheels going. You got what you asked for. Let's get it now.
From the very beginning, the exchange between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul was anything but friendly. Standing at 6'1", Paul towered over the 5'5" Davis, highlighting the size disparity that has dominated pre-fight discussions. Paul used this advantage as promotional ammunition, confidently claiming that his superior reach and power would keep Davis at bay. But Davis, an undefeated lightweight champion, dismissed the concern, insisting that his trademark speed and timing would make the difference irrelevant. Once the fight began, the matchup has drawn widespread criticism from media and fans alike, with many labeling it unbalanced or even a publicity stunt. After all, Davis, a decorated lightweight, is facing a social media personality turned boxer who naturally competes at much higher weight classes. To add to the controversy, the bout has been designated as an exhibition rather than a professional title fight, fueling ongoing debates about its fairness and legitimacy.
Pick him apart, and people are going to be able to see the skill set that I've been working on in the gym that I haven't been able to showcase in recent fights yet.
It's no secret that Jake Paul thrives on theatrics and controversy, and this press conference was engineered for viral drama. From clown props to shoving matches and jabs about legal issues, every stunt added to an atmosphere more reminiscent of a reality show than a traditional boxing presser. Many reports describe the event as sound and fury, signifying nothing, suggesting it delivered more spectacle than substance.
People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture knockouts.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists, though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, could it prop him up against the best of the best? Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. The way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of Witherspoon.
That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, There is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level.
Boxer Keith Thurman highlighted a sharp irony in Gervonta Davis's situation. His critics, unintentionally, are among his biggest promoters. According to Thurman, the same people who constantly disparage Davis's performances never seem to miss his fights. They claim he's overrated, yet their attention only amplifies his visibility and relevance. In a way, their negativity fuels his fame. As Thurman summed it up, the harder they try to tear him down, the higher they lift his name.
It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun. It makes it entertaining. That's what it is all about. You know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless. It doesn't count.
Doesn't count? Yeah. We need to see you and Tank, though. Has to happen.
What happened?
It has to happen, you and Tank.
We'll see, man. It's up to the champ. You're the champ, right? He's a celebrity champ. Ooh.
One of Jake Paul's former sparring.
Every single time, you know, people said that Jake would get finished or he would lose a fight. He obviously proved everybody wrong. But I genuinely believe this time, I think that, you know, with Gervonta's boxing IQ and him having Jake come down a little bit in weight, I think Gervonta will beat him, honestly. I think Gervonta will hurt him. I think he'll just use IQ. He'll tire him out a little bit. And, you know, I think he'll land. You know, Gervonta knows how to touch his opponents. But it's interesting because when Floyd fought Logan, the size really made a big, you know, impact. And you saw Floyd struggle, you know, against a big, you know, Ohio corn-fed, you know, wrestling strong dude. And, you know, I've sparred Jake and Logan before, and, you know, they train hard.
You're picking Tank by knockout?
Look, I sparred them years ago. They're much better than when I sparred them. They're athletes, you know, they train really hard.
Tank, you know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you got to know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through, and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You got to understand their DNA, you know, and we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like, we all don't do that. We don't do our research. You know, you got to know about somebody's history. So, like, if you understand where Tank came from, if you understand his background, then you understand how he thinks and why he feels the way he feels. You know, you do. So, I mean, for instance, like his parents, right? His parents were drug addicts, in and out of the system, in and out of jail. You know, he lived with his grandmother. You know, like, you got to understand when he started boxing, why he started boxing. Understand that, you know, that what the influence that Calvin has had on his life, and how if their relationship isn't great, how that affects him. And this is not making any excuses, people. This isn't. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just giving you what I think, and I'm giving you the facts surrounding all of this. You know, I remember back in 2012, you know, I'm living right. I'm living civil. I'm taking care of my business. I feel like I'm doing everything right. You know, I'm living right. I'm saying all the right things. You know, I want people.